have an opportunity here to provide leadership, support, and a voice to the voiceless. The sacrifices that we made during our service do not end here. We carry on. We push forward, and we give hope and inspiration through love, community, and support. Stay free.
Rights and freedoms in this country are absolutely everything to me because I personally know the sacrifice required in order to get them back once they're gone. So when my brothers and sisters call Stand 2, be sure I'll be there.
Legacy media will play their games, right? Like, this isn't about this or that. This is about freedom, period.
The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. Brothers and sisters in uniform, whether you're a police officer, military, check your hearts. Look where we're going. Man, wake up. I beg you.
If the veterans can't stand up and get a message across to the government, I don't know who can. I don't know. But we're going to give it our best shot. And I think we have a chance to win this and do it. But we need your help. And we need you to come, and we need you to stand too. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk again soon.
Woke pirates, yes, they robbed, sold out to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took out from the bottomless pit, my head was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? It's all I ever have. Redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Oh, have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. Got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? It's all I ever have. Redemption songs. Redemption songs. Redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Oh, have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. Got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? It's all I ever have. Redemption songs. Redemption songs. It's all I ever have. Redemption songs. Redemption songs. Redemption songs.
Hey, what's up, troops? Jeff Evely, the Magnanimous GenX'er Male, back with you now on the 17th day of July, 2024. We got a great show lined up for you here. Very special guests backstage right now. Neil Sheard, organizer of Rolling Thunder, now 3 years in a row. I'm really interested to catch up with Neil because it's been a while since we had a chance to talk. Neil was the guy who did the thing while we were at the convoy in 2022 and announced that we were going to be bringing the bikes there in April of 2022. That was the second time I got arrested in Ottawa. First time was for being at the convoy, and then the second time was for breaching my conditions for release for attending the monument and giving a speech during Rolling Thunder. So, such are the times that we're living through right now, unfortunately. But anyway, the battle carries on here. So, I'm really interested to catch up with Neil and find out what all went on this year. A lot, I'm afraid, probably of the same as it has been in previous years, and that's not a good thing. But anyway, we will let Neil tell us exactly what's going on there. But before I bring him in here, I'm going to do the usual and say good evening to everyone. Trish Tricky on YouTube was the first one on the board here this evening. She says, hey, how you doing there, Trish? Thanks for being with us. Rob K is with us saying good afternoon / evening. Patriots and bigots all giving us the peace sign, which is actually victory. And the Maple Leaf and a triple slashy. All right. Thanks for being with us, guys. And we got Colleen with us over on Facebook. Says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Chris Dacey in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Chris and I did an awesome live there on Monday on the whole Trump derangement shooter that happened in the United States there over the weekend. Holy smokes, there's a lot going on out there. Evelyn says, hello all. Hey, Evelyn, thanks for being with us. Cindy, our most faithful of all watchers, says, good evening, Jeff Hartz. Hope you've had a great day today, and giving us this smiley face. And Daisy is also chiming in, says, I'm the one that filmed it. It worked out great well. Okay, I think that was the Neil's original video there. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me that it would be Daisy to film that one, because he is our man in Ottawa. And Susan is here, says, hey, Jeff. Hey, everyone. Hey, what's up, Susan? Thanks for being here. June Marie says, greetings all. Thanks for being here, June Marie. I appreciate you. And Dave says, hello there. Dave, thanks for being with us. Slabtown Gal over on Rumble says, good evening, and giving us the triple slashy. And Joanne P says, good evening. And Garden Flower says, good to see you. Good to see you all. Thank you very much for being with us. Okay, here is our quote for this evening. And this is Dennis Prager. He's the founder of Prager University. It's a bit of a right-wing think tank. They do all kinds of short videos that are educational and pretty great overall. And Dennis says, more harm was done in the 20th century by faceless bureaucrats than tyrant dictators. And that is very true. And I think that Bruce Pardy talks about this quite a bit, the triumph of the administrative state, where, our administrative state here in Canada has swelled since 2015 by like an insane number. I'm not even sure what it is off the top of my head, but it's absolutely ridiculous how much bigger the administrative state has gotten since Trudeau first rose to power. And it is these nameless, faceless, unaccountable bureaucrats who seem to be holding all the power in our society these days. Because what Bruce Pardy talks about is just how, lawmakers are supposed to legislate, but what seems to be happening more and more is they're legislating in very broad terms and handing off a lot of the decision-making power to the bureaucracy in terms of how they want to implement more control over our lives. And they will, because they're control freaks. I happen to know that because I worked at NDHQ in Ottawa for the last 7 years of my career, and they're just awful people all across the board. Okay, here is our meme for Rolling Thunder for today. And it's a two-panel meme for you, for those of you just listening. It's a Simpsons meme at that. And I don't think this was good Simpsons. It looks like the drawing is a little bit too good for good Simpsons back in the early 90s there. The first like 3-4 seasons were really the most excellent. We're seasons like 2 to 5 maybe. But anyway, we got Homer and Marge on the motorcycle in the top, and Homer's got some pretty cool shades on here. And down on the bottom panel, we got Justin Trudeau doing the yoga plank on the desk looking out the window because he's absolutely terrified of his own citizens, as was pointing out to him during the Emergency Measures Act inquiry there. Okay, and Neil's waiting backstage, so I don't want to leave him for too long, but I just thought, although he probably needs no introduction to this crowd, that I would show the original video that I just referenced. And apparently it was Daisy who filmed this, so this is pretty cool. Here we go.
I want you to know, everybody, the bikes are coming. 29th and 30th of April. It's called Rolling Thunder Ottawa. Be here. This goes all like Frankfurt. My French buddies on the left side, and anybody else in Canada that can make it here. Be here. The 29th and the 30th. These big trucks are loud. You can get thousands of bikes in town.
Amazing. Thank you. God bless you.
I want you to know.
That is Daisy. Now that he mentions it, I can definitely tell. And here is another backgrounder here. This is just a quick graphic that I grabbed off the internet here somewhere. And these are some photos of bikes, of the bike rally and stuff like this. And these are mostly from the United States, I believe. But it says, photo of Rolling Thunder motorcycle from Canada and Washington, D.C., 5/29/17. So this is 2017. A group of Canadian Rolling Thunder veterans is in the background. Canada is an ally of the United States. So yeah, Rolling Thunder started as a kind of American veteran thing to raise awareness for POWs and MIAs. So it's a perfectly benevolent initiative. And I say this because I can remember when I got arrested at Rolling Thunder in 2022, and then I had to go before the Justice of the Peace. He was saying something. Oh yeah, you guys have this really ominous sounding name for your bike rally, and I wasn't even supposed to talk according to my counsel. But I was like, are you kidding me? Like Rolling Thunder, it's about POWs and MIA. Like, what do you got against veterans? What's so ominous about that? But such is the thinking in Ottawa these days, I'm afraid. Okay, I'm not going to leave Neil waiting any longer here. Let's bring him on in. Neil, how you doing, brother? It's great to see you, man.
Hey, Jeff. Nice to talk to you again, buddy. How you been?
No, not too bad. I'm hanging in there, brother. I'm hanging in there. You know, like I was just saying, the battle wages on. So, you know, we got to keep on keeping on, right? So,
Yep. Sorry, folks. I'm not wearing my vest. I'm not wearing my hat. It's too sunny.
You're
outside.
out of dress. You
I'm
are
not,
out of dress.
I am out of costume. But anyway, it's nice to talk to you again, Jeff. It's been a long time, man. I think the last time I saw you was face to face when you got arrested.
Yes, it was. That would have been the last time. And I believe we did like a catch up last year for Rolling Thunder 2023. But that's probably the last time we even talked, except for maybe a message here and there. But
yeah, we do.
I don't know where the time goes.
I know time. It's almost like halfway through July already. Like, what happened to the year? Gone. Hi, Cindy. I'm reading the chat too.
Okay, sweet. And Rob K is here saying it makes me wish I rode motorcycles, but there's still time for me to learn. Yes, there is. You are missing out, Rob.
Oh, get in the wind therapy, buddy. Get in that wind therapy. Get on the bike. All your troubles disappear.
Yeah,
they do.
I agree. I've been out trying to get a little bit more wind therapy here this year than I have in the last few years, really, just since I retired in 2021. And it is essential, I think. Like any veteran should probably have a motorcycle because it is essential therapy.
And that's why a lot of guys who ride are veterans. They get on the bike and it's like nothing else matters right now except for me, the wind, and the bike. And that's what keeps our heads straight.
Yeah, 1,000%.
And by the way, everybody, there's a lot of guys out there, they have PTSD. I haven't. But as soon as you turn around, you say, I have PTSD, you get blanketed with everything the government can throw at you. Guy like Jeremy, //. They said he has PTSD. Now, everything he does is because he has PTSD. No, that means you got a couple of demons in your head because you saw some crap overseas, and 99% of us deal with it. So you think about the guys that came back from World War II, the guys that hit the beaches. They didn't come back and get drugs. They dealt with it, as men should deal with it, and women should deal with it. And don't let the pharmaceutical guys push those pills down your throat. That's for my personal thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to go on that rant right now. So,
yeah, no worries. I mean, this is what we're here to do, man. Let's just get it all out there. And I agree with you. Like the kind of stigmatization that modern day veterans face, I don't think the previous generations really had to go through this. Like,
no.
Yeah. So, and it's just like you said, like the PTSD is being used to stigmatize and marginalize veterans in our society today. And really, I think if there's anybody that people should be hearing from at a time like this, it's probably the veterans.
Yeah, because we've been places and we've done stuff, and we have seen some horrific things, as opposed to buddy who's never left downtown Toronto. Who's never left Toronto or even their apartment building. You know what I'm saying? Like they never leave the area. They never travel unless they go to Mexico and they sit there and they drink for a week. But when you go, it's like you went to Afghanistan, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah. So when you get off that plane, you smell it.
Oh, do you ever?
You get off that plane and you go, oh, I am back. And everything just flush. And do you know what? Today, if I smell diesel fuel burning and I smell garbage, that is Afghanistan to me.
Yeah, it really is kind of the armpit of the world.
Do you know what? I wish we had not been there in a war. I wish I'd have been able to go there as a tourist and see. It's a beautiful country, man. Like we was it when we were driving into Kandahar.
Mm-hmm.
We were driving into Kandahar. There's a spot we go past the jail, and on the top of a hill, there's a big opening in the side of the hill. And I said to the Terp, I said, "What is that?" And he goes, "That is a temple that Alexander the Great built."
Yeah.
The history.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyways, but we weren't there. We're there to change hearts and minds, and it's okay. At the end of the day, they're still going to wipe their bum with their hand.
Well, that is, you know, I think the sad reality is that we just can't take a Stone Age people with AK-47s and expect them to join us in the modern era overnight. I think it was really more, it should have been the case that we were going in there with a mindset toward an intergenerational effort, you know, on the level of, say, Japan, Germany, Italy, South Korea, like those are the models that work, right? But nowadays, you know, it seems that people just kind of expect, not people generally, but definitely the leadership class seem to expect this instant gratification, you know, overnight success and this kind of thing. And
let's throw money at it and it'll work out.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, we'll bring in soldiers to help you work it out.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And there was a lot of progress. That's the thing that just think of the starting point. It's like I said, it's basically the Stone Age over there. And we built roads, bridges, hospitals, schools, like girls were being educated. Malala Yousafzai got the Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, her acceptance speech was perhaps a little too jihadi for my taste, but, you know, I'll take that as a win. 1,000% I'll take that.
Yeah.
And, you know, the Afghan National Army, I mean, they were defending their own territory. There were only something like, I think it was 1 American death in the last 6 years of the war, whereas Afghan National Army was more like 40,000. So they were defending their own territory, and they couldn't even do jumping jacks when we first got there. You remember the videos of them trying to do jumping jacks?
Oh, I think I've still got that video in here somewhere.
It's pretty great.
But anyway, you guys, if you're in the chat, go look up Afghanis doing jumping jacks, military training.
It's pretty hilarious.
No, seriously, it's absolutely hilarious. But they had to fight for their own country, right?
Yeah, and you know, they bled for that land, and basically the West betrayed them. Like, well, Joe Biden did, but I don't know how we can expect people to accept us as reliable allies, you know, given a track record like that.
Yeah, exactly. And do you think it was really Joe that told him to pull out?
No, I think it was probably Xi Jinping.
Well, here's a fact. They left $84 billion worth of weapons.
Oh, yeah.
$84 billion.
Mm-hmm. And now China gets to replicate all that. That's kind of what they do. They're not really good at innovating their own technologies, but they're pretty good at stealing ours.
Well, yeah. So I don't know, something about a lab leak in Ottawa. I don't know, or in not Ottawa, in
Winnipeg,
Manitoba. Yeah. Wonder what traitor let them in. They're on a list, but we can't see it.
Yeah. And did you know that Jean Chrétien's brother actually worked with that scientist that they escorted out of the of that lab? Like they worked together on Ebola research. Yeah, I was showing that here on the program when I was reporting on it at the time. It's just incredible, the connections. Okay. I found it. Here we go, guys. Okay, here is the Afghan National Army in the early 2000s when we first got there.
Yeah, froze up.
Oh, did it freeze up? You know, it looks good on this end, guys. I don't know. I had some connection issues here the other night too. So, okay, somebody said
you're frozen up on me too. I can see me. You're looking up in the air. Like,
can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, I don't know what the heck's going on here, guys.
But it's the government, dude. It's the government.
I was doing this with Daisy the other night too, and it seemed like everything was kind of freezing up on me. I hope it doesn't boot me out here soon like it did the other night. I tell you what, I'll put up this video here. This was something. Hopefully this one works a little better, but this was something that we were talking about just before we went live, and this is it's just kind of a quick version of what happened here in Ottawa there recently. So it's on my side, is what. Jeez, I'm lagging hard, guys. Okay, I'm trying here to sort this out, but Colleen said, "Ceases, go get a coffee and leave us alone." Yeah, no kidding. All right, I'll mess around a little bit here. I'll see if this video goes. Just let me know, Neil. I'm listening. If
all right, no problem.
Hi, my name's Neil Sheard. I organized the original Rolling Thunder 2022. And a friend of mine, Derek Noon, who's supposed to be in here right now, has just been banned. Came down yesterday. Class A. Could be 10 months, could be a year, could be 2 years. His lawyer is being notified right now. The reason I'm here is because we're doing Rolling Thunder Ottawa 2024. When I first started Rolling Thunder 2022, that was after veterans had been attacked on the monument. They were beaten in the streets.
Volume's good.
Thrown out of the city. No charges. They're basically kidnapped after being beaten and left out of the city. So we decided, wasn't just me, it was my idea, but a lot of veterans, and I'm not speaking for all veterans. I'm not speaking for all veterans. I'm speaking for the veterans that were there. We gave back that monument its dignity. Last year, I said we're coming back in. All I want to do is just ride around, no speeches. We gave dignity to the monument the year before. We just want to ride around the monument, rev our bikes, and salute the men and women that gave their lives for this country. The city said no.
Yep. Froze up, buddy. You still there, Jeff?
You have maybe a little bit closer. And I was thinking to myself, I'm going to be 75 years old by the time I roll around that monument. This year, I said, okay, tell you what, we played by the rules last year. Give us Queen. They said no. They'll give us exactly the same route as last year. We turn it Albert. I want to know who's making these decisions. We've done exactly what we have said we did. We did exactly what we said we are planning on doing every year. Are they still that hurt? Motorcycles are not going to stop in this city and stay for weeks. It's a big, loud motorcycle. Come in, salute the monument, leave the city, and go off and have a barbecue.
The only thing I hear is, basically there's slogan machines over there. Pet the goat, ride the donkey. Like, what does any of that mean? They just sang slogans that have no meaning, that have no policy. Sure. Look, we're not, right now we're focused on doing it.
What was that? What happened to his bow tie? I just lost. I got no voice on you there, Jeff. You're muted. You're muted.
Okay, how's that?
I can hear you now, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, the videos weren't coming through, man. It's like, you got a storm going on out there or something?
Yeah, that's what Patricia was just saying. So did you get that video? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we saw the video of me talking about Rolling Thunder, and then it went into Mr. Funny Bowtie Guy.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Sorry, guys, I got some gremlins here tonight. I don't know what the heck is going on. Last couple of broadcasts have been like this, but we'll power through, I think.
Okay.
So, Neil, that was amazing that you got on CPAC and you're up there addressing the press gallery. So really great to see. Obviously, you're expressing some concern over The way we were treated at Rolling Thunder Ottawa 2024, pretty awesome patch, by the way. I'm just showing it here now. I am very disappointed that I don't get one because I still can't go to Ottawa. But
I have some left. I have a couple left. I will mail one to you, buddy.
All right, I appreciate you, brother.
Okay.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about like what's going on with the way the Rolling Thunder is being received in Ottawa? What was it like this year compared to years gone by?
First year, we were Convoy 2.0. Everybody was Convoy. No. Second year, say, look, we did the monument last year. We gave it back its dignity, and we just want to ride the bikes around the monument, hit the engine, leave. Nope, can't do it. Still got an exclusion zone there. This year, or last year, they said, we'll move you a little closer. We'll give you maybe Albert next year. Queen. This year, I say, okay, well, we'll do. Nope, can't do it. I said, why not? Oh, well, the city says no. So are they still that butthurt?
Petty.
Because I don't know, we came into their city that has protests all year long. They don't seem to be stopping the Palestinian anti-Israeli thing going on, where they're calling
march around the monument.
March around the monument. Yeah. So this year they said no, not at all. So we came in, and unfortunately, I had to change the date because of weather. The date, it was supposed to be the 22nd. But we had thunderstorms from Southern Ontario all the way up into Ottawa, thunderstorms. So I had to make it the next weekend. And unfortunately, we had 15 bikes.
This year?
This year.
All right. Let's
I was there was more police officers in Ottawa than bikes.
Yeah, let's get a look at that. We got another video from Daisy here just to give you guys an idea what this looks like. Again, feedback on the video would be appreciated, but here we go. Oh, sorry.
Daisy here. We are ready for Rolling Thunder 2024. National War Memorial behind me. I can hear the bikes coming. Stand by.
He sounds so excited to see. Yeah. By the way, Dave, thanks a lot for doing it, buddy. I really do appreciate it.
He's our favorite muckraker.
There we go. Yeah, look at this. And I think the city is...
Ottawa 2024 coming through.
The city is actually, I think they're terrified if they actually let us roll around that monument, that there's going to be thousands of bikes showing up.
I don't know.
Wow, some of those bikes sound like they're growling.
Hey, brother! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah, so it was a little disappointing this year. I think I have to come out with a date that will work for more people, because if I do it in June, July, a lot of people are going to be gone with their families off doing vacations and stuff like that. If I do it in May, the weather may not be good, and August, still vacation stuff. So, okay, guys in the chat, what month would you suggest I run it? Let's see what you say in the comments.
Yeah, guys, what do we think? What's a good time to do the Rolling Thunder Ottawa event? It's starting to cool off by, say, late October, I guess, when we're talking about Ottawa, but still plenty of good weather left by then. I guess
October, usually good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's we got Remembrance Day there in November. I wonder if maybe trying to put it somewhat close to that, not
They
too late in
don't.
October.
The Legion would never allow us to be there because V4F is. I wear a V4F patch, and they won't want
Yeah.
that.
Not for Remembrance Day.
Not
but
for Remembrance Day. And do you know what? I was actually thinking about doing it 1st of July. I was thinking about July 1st.
Well, Odious Patton was just saying last weekend in June before July 1st. Not a bad idea. Like, we
That's
have
what
James Top Day on the 30th of June, and then
that's what we did.
that's
The
what you
last
did,
week.
and you think it's too late?
No, nobody showed up.
Huh. And Patricia's saying September for sure, but June is pointing out that the kids are back in school. Rob thinks that September could work. And Christine is saying, I say in August, starting Friday and ending Sunday. Bob Stock is willing to offer camping for the weekend. Well,
Yes.
that is definitely a factor to consider if accommodations are facilitated in that way, for sure. And
July, August.
all different months here.
Do you think we should do another one this year?
Another one in 2024?
Yeah.
If so, then I'm going to recommend October because I still have to go to court for
All right.
August and September. So
okay. All right. No problem. No problem. I would like to do another one, but it should be an annual thing, not every couple of weeks, because then people are going to go, oh yeah, here we go again. A bit of a build up, but I'm thinking about. I think I might have to start getting into some legal on this one. Like, take it to court and say, why are you not letting us do this?
Well, that's kind of what I want to, a part of what I wanted to talk to you about too, because you made those comments in the press gallery there. And so we don't even know why or by whom this is being denied.
Well, they said anything that is vehicle oriented is not allowed downtown in that exclusion zone. Anything that's vehicle related.
Yeah.
So they said, no, nobody can do anything. So it's not like we're staying. It's like, I tell you what, if I bring bikes through town without even telling the police, and then just kind of go, well, we're going to drive past the monument. Could be 5 of us. It could be $1,500.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a bike ride driving on the King's Highway.
Yeah.
But
it's the National War Monument, and we're talking about veterans.
Yeah. Saluting veterans. And what I wanted to try and do after the first year, after we gave back that monument its dignity after the veterans were attacked, I wanted to create a Rolling Thunder Canada kind of vibe like they have in the States. Get some patriotism back into this country for the men and women that gave everything for this country.
Yeah.
But right now, they gave everything they fought against dictators and tyrants. And now it's happening here.
Yeah.
In our country.
And I think that's a big part of why so many veterans showed up at the convoy as we did, and then, carried this forward into Rolling Thunder as well, is, we've seen how political violence starts, really. Well, maybe not starts, but we see the way things are in other countries. We've been there where we have all these war-torn countries and stuff like that, and we see the same sort of social harbingers, I guess, of the coming conflict. And so it's starting to feel like that. I feel like, I'm basically on deployment half the time. I got this kind of deployment brain now where, I'm here in my own country, and it feels like I'm on tour. And I think that's what it is it's this kind of sense of dread that we all have with regard to the direction things are going in right now. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like I said before, I don't speak for all veterans. Like I said, no, I don't speak for all veterans. But what I'd like to see, besides yourself and V4F, you don't see veterans stepping up. James Top, perfect example, said, I'm going to do this. And he marched to Ottawa.
Yeah.
Why are no other veterans standing up? That,
You know,
because I was getting shitty grams. You don't speak for veterans. I'm a veteran. My dad, I was in. I said, yeah, you were a Cold War warrior.
Yeah.
You got it. You got in 70, and you came out in 75.
Yeah.
Right. I went to the Golan Heights and what? Sunbathed.
Yeah.
I went to Germany. Oh yeah. So you won a drinking contest.
Yeah. Maybe there's a need to distinguish war veterans from veterans. I don't know. What do you think?
Combat veterans?
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah,
If that's the way you want to go. I mean, I'm not a combat veteran, but
did you go to Afghanistan?
Yeah, 1,000%.
You were in the wire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you were a combat veteran. You were getting shelled.
Well, yeah, rockets, shells, IEDs, that kind of thing. But
yeah,
I didn't actually like engage in the combat sense. You know, I was with the unmanned aerial vehicles, so I got the bird's eye view of the war.
Yeah. Okay. So you were a combat veteran. You went into a combat zone.
Okay.
And the guys that went into Bosnia, they were peacekeepers. They were the Medak pocket.
Yeah.
Right. Those are combat veterans.
Mm-hmm. They never got enough credit for that.
Absolutely not. And here's another thing. Canadians worldwide were known as peacekeepers. What happened to that?
War broke out.
We're no longer peacekeepers. So, anyways, let me get back to the veteran side of it. There was like I said, I got a lot of shitty grams, and I was just kind of, I was disowned by my regiment apparently. Yeah, they said you were no longer part of the Royal Canadian Dragoons, but I bled sweat and tears. Same time, yeah, I got a nasty gram from a general saying you are no longer part of the Royal Canadian Dragoons, and I was like, oh, F you. F you. Yeah. You're a general. You're a politician.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things I really want to say, Jeff, but CSIS. Oh, dude. Oh.
This is a safe space, brother. You say whatever you want. I'm just going to wish Thomas a happy anniversary. He dropped in to say hello, but he's going to bail so we can.
Hey, Griff. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking with Tom the other day. Yeah, he sent me a message. Oh, so no. Yeah, okay. I talked to Griff. For about half an hour the other day. His anniversary. Jeez. Old man Griff.
Yeah.
And he's younger than me. He looks old. He's worn out. In a good way. In a good way, Griff. So
yeah.
Here's a question. We have traitors in our government. 100%. CSIS came out and they got 300 pages worth of documentation, and Elizabeth May read it and said, oh, there's no traitors, and Juggernuggets turned around and said, yeah. Well, you like that one, Juggernuggets?
Yeah, I like that. Thanks.
Yeah, Juggernuggets.
I just call him Jimmy.
Jimmy Daliwa.
That's his real name. Yeah.
Jimmy Daliwa. I'm a terrorist. I can't get into Canada, or I can't get into the States. Can't go into India.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so Juggernuggets. He said none of my people are on that list. And Trudeau didn't know that, and he was kind of There was an interview where Juggernuggets turned around and said, oh yeah, I'm not worried about anybody in the NDP.
Right.
And Justin Trudeau hadn't heard about that. And then he was asked that. The reporter asked Justin. Juggernuggets said he doesn't have to worry about anybody in the NDP. And Justin was like, oh, you see the look in his eyes like, shit, okay. So anyway, we've got these traitors. The list isn't going to come out. How do we get the list? How do we get that list?
CSIS leaker.
Is he compromised?
Who?
Is I thought you said the CSIS leader. Oh, leaker?
Leaker. The leaker.
Yeah.
But I think it's the NSICOP report that we're referring to specifically, huh?
Yeah.
So 11 MPs compromised.
Yep. And if that's 11 MPs, that's just the MPs. What about MPPs? What about your local municipality? And who was that? There was a liberal. He'd been in office for like something like 30 some odd years, and he said he's not running again. And he said the threat that China has in Canada, it goes a lot further than most people think.
Yeah.
And he just walked away. No, so he said, here's the thing. Where's your stone, son? Why didn't you say something earlier?
Yeah.
Vote against all this crap.
This guy, McKay, I think his name is.
McKay. Yeah, this guy right here.
What should be done about the questions being raised now about what the government knew about foreign interference?
Well, my views are that this is far larger. That Canada, that the government of China is an existential threat to Canada on a multiplicity of levels, and we need to come to grips with that.
Is your government doing enough to deal with that, to confront it?
Well, it's not for me to say.
Well, you're a member of the governing caucus.
The caucus, right. But I think we need as a nation to come to grips with the desire of the government of China to turn us all into vassal states. And, I don't think we have it.
So you think that the public inquiry is warranted then?
No. I think we need to think our way through this very, very carefully.
Why? What's the risk of it?
Well, because it's an existential threat that we've never ever faced before on a multiplicity of levels.
It sounds like you're saying it's more of a problem in terms of the election and the democratic process.
It's more than the election. It's at the universities, it's at the police stations, it's at the Confucius Institutes, it's at the exploitation of resources, I think it's far bigger.
Far bigger than that. And, I think he's right. And you were kind of alluding to that there, Neil. I mean, they're going down to the municipal level. They're getting into community groups. Like, people think these are these sort of benevolent charitable societies and stuff like that, when they are, in fact, influence operations. United Front Work Department, folks. Look them up. The United Front is the Chinese Communist Party's overseas arm, and they're not professional spies, but they are professionals, and they tend to be like education professionals, business professionals, you name it. And they're patriots. That's kind of what makes them so dangerous. So they come to a place like Canada and start building relationships. Network warfare is what they call it in Unrestricted Warfare, that book that the two Chinese colonels published there in 1999 that outlines the basic strategy they're deploying against us right now. And network warfare is like business networks, political networks, social networks, this kind of thing.
And they're doing it really, really well. And,
they are good at this.
And our guys are sitting back going, oh no, don't worry about it. But meanwhile, they're running everywhere. It's basically like playing whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
It's like, there's one there when they should be just shut it down. Done. If you any affiliation with Chinese Communist Party, we are going to take everything. If you own a mine and it's connected to the CCP through a back door somehow, that mine is now forfeit.
Yep. I agree. Close the embassy, send them all back. We have an awful lot of foreign nationals right now. PEI is essentially lost. Parts of definitely Vancouver are. They're bringing in, like in PEI, they have all these Buddhist monasteries, massive monasteries that are set up, and they bring in monks from China, which is not something the Chinese men usually do because they're expected to carry on the legacy of the family. But they're bringing in these thousands of monks, filling up these monasteries, getting rich in the process, and You know, PEI actually has the lowest retention rate for immigration. It's about like 11 to 17%, something like that. Like it's abysmally low. So where are they all going? Well, I don't really know, but I do know that about triple the number of terrorists were apprehended at the U.S.'s northern border in the last few years than even at its southern border. And so all eyes are on the southern border because of the sheer numbers, but the number of terrorists being apprehended are actually threefold at the northern border. So it seems like Canada is being used as a staging ground for an invasion of the U.S. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. It's like we're the friendly neighbor upstairs, but yeah, they're going to fast rope in from the top windows.
Yeah.
Right. And here's the question. All right. After seeing that horrendous thing that happened to Donald Trump on the weekend.
Yeah.
Right. He's won the election. Plain and simple. He will be the next president of the United States.
Oh, yeah.
And he's talking about mass deportation. Are those people in that country going to start running for Mexico? Where are they going to run to? They're going to run to Canada.
Great
so
point.
if they've got 9 million, if they got like 15 million people and they're trying to catch them, as soon as the day that they say Donald Trump is the president, he won the election, they're going to pick up and they're going to run for the border, and they're coming up. They're not going to go to Mexico. They are going to run for Canada.
Yeah.
Think about it. You've gone all the way up through the open society. They bring you all the way up, and now you got all these NGOs are going to go. Where's the next safest place besides Mexico? Let's go to Canada. They're not going to catch them all. Next thing you know, we have all these people. So
well, and I mean, don't forget what happened during the last Trump presidency there, where they were implementing measures to mitigate this threat, and Trudeau put out that tweet that said,
"We're open.
Hey,
we're open."
Yeah, we're super not racist up here, and Canada welcomes you, and it's been a steady stream of mass immigration ever since. So. That could be really bad if we still have Trudeau in power.
I don't know, man. It's like there's so much weird and wonderful things happening globally. Because I say to people, look, Canada, we're all looking down, microscope on Canada. You've got to look what's happening globally to find out what's going to happen to this country.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're like right now we're just a little zit on the planet, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But if you see that somebody say Italy's starting to, how can I say, they're healing. France is starting to heal. Holland, Europe is starting to heal. They're seeing what is happening. Britain is starting to heal. America is going to be healed, and it's all coming back together. The pendulum it's reached its apex. It's coming straight back. Oh, by the way, hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm a boomer, dude. Yeah.
I know.
I hear you going off on the boomers and stuff like that. But guess what? I'm the back end of the boomers. I'm the one that was teaching your Gen Xers how to fight.
Yeah.
And I was the one that was getting you smokes. And I was getting you booze. I was the one that was doing that for you guys. So anyways.
I appreciated that when I was 15.
Yeah. You're welcome, buddy. You're welcome.
All my boomers are good to go, guys. Everybody knows that around here. Neil is one of the Obi-Wan figures in our story here, like Eddie Cornell, right? There's the Obi-Wan Kenobi figure. The problem in Star Wars is that Obi-Wan is the only Jedi of his generation. And I think that we're quite blessed in that regard, that we have so many great boomers who hang out with me. They're my boomers.
Yeah. Anybody else in here a boomer? Or all Gen X and Gen Z?
No. Colleen's here saying, Neil, I am too. Jeff loves the good boomers. Yeah. 1,000%. I mean, and Cindy is as well. And, I mean, I think the list goes on here. There's always a bunch of them in the chats here. And Anyway, obviously, it's gotten to be a running joke, right? Where you know,
No, I just never.
trashing the boomers, and
I never got to say that to you because I was listening to one of your products and goes, oh, basically those dirty boomers, and I was like, what did you just say? And then I listened and went, okay, all right, Jeff, okay. Next time I get a chance, I'm gonna have a word with you, young man.
I'm talking about now. See,
you're talking about
the thing is, the good ones have all been banished, right? Like we can kind of tell who the good ones are because they all got excommunicated from the institutions. But the people running our institutions right now, the ones that are still there, they're the target, right? And we need all the generations on board to take our country back 1,000%. What I'm doing is I'm trying to provide a profile. You know, it's like profiling a serial killer.
Boomers and serial killers. Oh yeah, but a lot of them were.
Anyway, what's his name? Colonel Russell Williams. Well, not Colonel anymore, but yeah, there's an example right there. That's the kind of boomer that I'm talking about. It's the Hems and the Paul Bernardos and the who's the monster of the Miramichi there?
Picton.
No, Picton would be another one though, and there was the guy in the Alan Legier, monster in Miramichi in New Brunswick. So. Yeah, I'm talking about that profile of the boomers, it's not hard.
And the greedy politicians and the greedy CEOs. You know, it's like, we are going to take your house. We're going to take this, that, and the other. Why? Well, I'm going to sell your stock and make sure that I get the new car, but you and your family no longer have a house. You know, corporate boomers.
Yep, 1,000%. Larry Fink, BlackRock. We want to force behavior.
Yep. So,
and
apparently Larry Fink's grandson is on TikTok, and he's dropping all sorts of bombs on him. You know that?
Oh yeah, no, I haven't seen it. I'm not a big TikToker. Right? Why? What's he saying?
Make me look now. Okay.
No. Just generally.
No, but I just started watching some of his stuff, and he was saying, yes, I am his grandson. And he look him up. Maybe he's on X as well. The only reason I jumped on TikTok is because I wanted to do something with Rolling Thunder. And now I sit there and I flip. Apparently that the one did I send you that link in the private chat? In Signal. I sent it to you in Signal.
I think I got it. Yeah, just 1 second here. Is it this one?
Yeah, that one's had over 250,000 views.
There you go. I think this is basically the same video that we just showed, is it?
It's a part of it.
Okay, you want me to show it? Here we go.
Yeah.
Sheard. I organized the original Rolling Thunder 2022. Honestly, I'd like to know who's in charge. Seriously. And it's not just me. Canadians want to know who's in charge of our government. Because scandals coming out that we have traitors in our government colluding with China, India. Me, as a soldier, if I'd have been charged with treason, my life would be over. It'd be in the papers. If one of these reporters in here were charged with treason, your name would be out there. But as a veteran, as a soldier, if that happened to me, my life would be over. But if you're a politician, ooh, that's even worse. Because if one of these politicians has access to our state secrets, who are they? Canadians want to know. Would somebody have to do with the Winnipeg lab? Anybody? We need to know. We need to know as Canadians, if we're going to go to the polls, are we going to be voting for someone who's in the pocket of China, India? And honestly, doesn't matter if you're liberal, conservative, NDP, Bloc, the Green, your name should come out.
If you get charged, we have the information. We will see you in court. Prove yourself innocent. That's the way it works in our country. If you get charged, you have to go to court to prove yourself innocent.
That's the way it is now.
Then you run for office. As you can see, I don't have speech. This comes off the top of my head. This all comes from the heart. And who else runs our country? 2017, Klaus Schwab said he has penetrated our cabinet with more than 50% of the cabinet are young global leaders. Our deputy prime minister is on the board of the World Economic Forum. She is also very, very good friends with George Soros. Before she came into politics,
yeah,
she was,
yeah, they got cut back. So anyway.
Yeah, no worries. That is kind of the drawback with TikTok, is it is pretty limited in that regard. But you're making some good points here. Like, you know, here is Chrystia Freeland's WEF page. You know, the Honorable Chrystia Freeland is Canada's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. Miss Freeland was first elected as Member of Parliament for Toronto, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she's got a very glowing write-up here on the WEF's website. And these kinds of memberships at this stage represent a potential conflict of interest. I mean, whose interest is she really serving here? Is it ours, or is it the World Economic Forum's, right, Neil?
Well, yeah, that's right. She was also like a very, very good friend, a personal friend of George Soros. She was supposed to. She was going to be the biographer, and then she got into politics. She got elected, so she couldn't do it. And George Soros, his Open Society Foundation, puts tons and tons of money into the World Economic Forum. And with her being on the board, they help them spend, I think it's almost $32 billion. So she's spending their money, and it's all the Open Society. They have a lot of little off branches like Tides Canada and stuff like that. And I could not find her name, but this woman was the vice president of Tides Canada. She left that job. She specifically worked for George Soros. This was a Globe and Mail article. I'll try and find it sometime. She ended up working as an advisor to Justin Trudeau. And in 2021, she was made the top advisor to Justin Trudeau with regards to climate change. So she's come right out of the pocket of George Soros, the World Economic Forum. So they are running everything in our country.
Mm-hmm.
And here's another thing. We were talking earlier about the CP, about Chinese Communist Party.
Yep.
How they've infiltrated right down lowest level. The World Economic Forum is doing exactly the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Everything. So we're being attacked on two fronts.
I think me personally, I'm basically viewing the WEF as an influence operation for the CCP at this point. I kind of think that's what's going on. Like, what's his name there? Dr. Evil. He refers to Xi Jinping as His Excellency and invited him to be the keynote speaker. And they had the premier of the CCP there just earlier this year, I think, for the summit on rebuilding global trust. So, yeah.
You want to? The easiest way for them to do global trust is for him to eat some, I don't know, have a 9mm enema.
Yeah, exactly.
Take 9 mil, eat it, and we'll trust you. But honestly, I think if I was in office, terrorism is, you said something about violence and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's policies that go against every human right in my mind. So I would I would honestly classify the World Economic Forum as a terrorist group. And anybody that works for the World Economic Forum should either swear allegiance to the country and denounce the World Economic Forum, or leave the country. And if they don't, charge them. Yeah, moves the Davos bubble to the real world. She's nasty.
Oh yeah. And I think, did I have my screen up that whole time? Okay, here is the article that I think you were referring to. Globe and Mail, Globe and Fail is reporting Freeland moves from Davos bubble to the real world, whatever that means.
Scroll to the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, keep going, keep going. Okay, slow up a bit. Oh, slow down.
Okay.
There's her. That's her name right there. Where is it? I can't see it. I'm trying to read it. It's too tiny.
Yeah, I think it's kind of talking about, okay, I'll say, I'll start here. It says, this month last year, Chrystia Freeland was with her boss in Davos, the Swiss resort and site of the World Economic Forum. Miss Freeland once wrote, is where the globe's plutocrats go, quote, figure out their party line, close quote. The one-time chronicler of the super rich had always seemed unusually at ease among the 0.1% she claimed to criticize. By last year, as a key player in Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's new cabinet, she seemed utterly in her element among them. After the event, Ms. Freeland posted photos on her website of her with George Soros and Richard Branson. Mr. Soros, the billionaire hedge fund magnate, best known for his massive donations to democratic causes, has called Donald Trump, quote, a con artist and a would-be dictator, close quote. Mr. Branson, the billionaire founder of Virgin Group, worried last fall that Mr. Trump's, quote, vindictive streak could be so dangerous if he got into the White House, close quote. Progressive plutocrats with whom Ms. Freeland seemed to feel some kinship are now catatonic in the face of a Trump presidency. Davos would never be the same. There was always something surreal about the Davos plutocrats and their hangers-on gathering in splendid isolation to decry rising income inequality. In the Trump era, they will seem even more hopelessly extraterrestrial.
Yeah. And she even wrote a book called The Plutocrat.
Yeah, The Plutocrats.
Yeah, and she wrote a book on it. So she knows exactly how it's going to work, and she's helping to implement it. Plain and simple.
Yeah. It's like they're telling us what they're going to do, right?
Well, evil has to tell you what they're going to do, because they say, sorry, we did tell you. They're not going to come out and actually say it. They'll put it in movies. Honestly, I think The Matrix is a documentary, man.
It feels like that.
It does. Think about, okay, getting away from the world. You see what's happening every day in the news. Every day in the news, not just mainstream, but everything. All your news, my news, Clyde Do Something news, Northern Perspective news. It is bang, 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 bang. All this stuff is coming. You could have this, that, and that, and the other, and say, oh, wow, that was a crazy Monday. And then Tuesday, it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier. It's just like, it's like someone's writing a play or a movie, and they're like, it's coming down to the final credits.
Well, the Matrix reference is one that I use around here quite a bit too, because the Matrix is a fourth turning, and that's what I talk about a lot, is the fact that we're at a fourth turning right now. And that's why I trash the boomers, is because it's always the generation born in the wake of the previous major crisis, who, when they reach peak institutional power in their early elderhood, just prior to retirement, when they're at the peaks of their careers, they're the ones who drive us back into the next crisis. And that's the boomer generation. You just go back like 4 generations at a time. You'll see, the Second World War, the American Civil War, the American Revolution, so on and so forth. So that's kind of the whole cycle of history. And when you talk about the Matrix, there are 3 archetypes that we always see in play when we're in one of these crisis eras, and it's the elder prophet, the midlife nomad, and the young hero. So in Star Wars, that's Obi-Wan Kenobi, Han Solo, and
Luke.
Luke Skywalker. And if you look at the Matrix, you'll see those same archetypes represented as the architect, Morpheus, and Neo. And Morpheus, the midlife nomad, I mean, he's the one who says, take the red pill, right? Do you want the blue pill or the red pill? So that's kind of, I think that's kind of Gen X's role in all of this, is we're the ones who were supposed to wake up the millennials. Yeah, we got our work cut out for us.
Oh, you do. You do. Okay.
Good luck with that, right?
Oh, I don't know. How do you do it though?
Well, you know, it's not their fault. They've been indoctrinated. They're victims in this.
Because the people that looking at Gen Z are going, we're looking at the fourth turning. We cannot let them do this. So we have to dumb them down. We have to poison their mind, have them fight against their own system.
Yep.
Have them, are you a boy or a girl? Make up your mind. You don't know what you are. We will tell you what you are in school. So for like 10 years, some 20-year-old, 10 years ago, man, I got lighters older than them. That bad boy there is 30 years old. So these they have been poisoned. They have been poisoned mentally and physically.
Yep.
So I remember seeing a meme where you see a guy from 1940, a man. He goes 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and now, right? And it starts off this guy, big shoulders, hair on his chest. Then you see the next guy down, he's a little thinner. Then the 80s, a little thinner. The 90s, a little thinner. And now you're looking at these, see a picture of some itty-bitty Twinkie man, same age, but you look at the 1940s man to the 222 kids, and it's just a complete swap.
Yeah.
They've gentrified our children.
Yeah, that really has been the sickest thing in all of this, is that like the last people anybody were thinking about were the children. Yeah, geez, I mean, they're supposed to protect the vulnerable. That was their whole job during the pandemic. And they killed all the old folks in the long-term care facilities and started poisoning the kids with their experimental jabs. 5 to 11-year-olds and newborns now, like 6 months old, and all this stuff. And it didn't have they were never at risk. It never had anything to do with anything but, money. They just wanted to scare everybody, tell them to put on the masks and fear. Everybody panic, and just do as you're told. And, what a mess. Like we're not even going to know the full fallout of this thing probably for a generation or two to come, right?
Yeah, I'd say within the next 5 years. You're going to start seeing, how many people do you know now have cancer?
Yeah. I couldn't even count. I lost a few relatives even recently. And I mean, just the circumstances, the way it all went down and everything, I was like, yep, sounds like turbo cancer.
Yep, sounds just like it. And here's something else you don't see on the news. Five United States is suing Pfizer.
Yep.
Because it was so bad. And they say, well, we didn't do that testing. But so now it's, how did they get away with it being they could get away with it being an emergency thing if they couldn't be sued or anything like that, if it was done, if it was given to you maliciously, you could sue them. But if they say, oh, well, sorry, we didn't know, but it's all being found out that they did know. So you got like 5 states in the United States that are suing them. Japan is going off the rail.
Yeah.
So like I said, folks, look around the world. It's not just Canada. Everybody is starting to heal. It's all coming out. People are going to pay. They are going to pay.
Yeah, I think we're still a few years away from, Nuremberg too, but I got my sights set on, say, roughly 2026. I think we could.
26?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the cycle of history and say, for example, Hitler rose to power in 33, and we didn't see a Nuremberg trial until 46, so that's 13 years. Trudeau came in 2015, that puts us at about 2028, but I think we can do a little better than that. I'm shooting for 2026.
That'd be good. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Hopefully we got to stop 2030. So come November, there's going to be so many declassifications coming out. The Epstein list. I got a feeling that Epstein list will be out once Donald Trump gets back into power.
I think a lot of things are going to come out when he comes back into power. Hopefully.
Yep. And because he wanted to release everything on JFK.
Yeah.
And they said, no, you can't do that. Well, why not? Well, if the CIA did it, then we can't really have a CIA anymore because you'll shut them down. It's like, yeah.
My take is it was the Secret Service, but I do think that that's what's happening. I mean, I gave this take here the other night when we were talking about the Donald Trump shooting, but there's a great book out there called Mortal Error, where they talk about like the fatal shot wasn't there were two shots that came from Kennedy, but the fatal one was actually a negligent discharge from Agent George Hickey in the follow-on car, passenger side rear seat, AR-15 223 round, hit Kennedy in the back of the head and blew out the front of his skull there. That's what everybody thinks, that's the shot that came from the grassy knoll, but that's actually an exit wound on the it's all based on ballistics, but
back to the left, right?
Yeah, back into the left, but that's because the body convulses toward the wound, right? That's his nervous system reacting to the wound. It's the same as if you got stabbed or something like that. Like there's no recoil on the target end of the shot. It's all at the shooter's end. So when Kennedy is hit, his body convulses towards the entry wound, which was the left side base of his skull. But yeah, I mean, and everything about it, like it fits really well because there was this whole fight between the Secret Service and the Dallas police where, you know, Dallas were saying this is a murder investigation, this is our jurisdiction. And the quote, I can't remember it right now, but there was something like, this is one of those times when the law can be waived, was the Secret Services. So I think the Secret Service probably rallied around their guy and covered the whole thing up, even though, and this is my experience too, just in my 20 years in the Canadian military, like there's plenty of reporting on there and out there on the corruption that goes on. But in my experience, it was always the case, almost always the case, that the corruption was for the purpose of covering the ineptitude. And so a guy has a negligent discharge in the Secret Service.
And you kill the president.
You kill, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no, we'll find some schmuck.
And LBJ, the next guy who came in, he hated the Secret Service. He would stop his car and get out and yell at them to not follow so closely. He's like, if I ever get my head blown off, it's going to be one of these jackasses. He hated them because I think he probably knew what happened. But but yeah, that's the kind of thing that they would probably keep sealed to. And I don't know if George Hickey is still alive. He might be. So maybe that's what's kind of driving the continued cover up.
Yeah. Well, you never know if there was any DEI in the Secret Service back then. DEI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there was no DEI. They didn't have to contend with that. But,
do you know what it could have been? He's not fit for the job. He's had a lot of negligent discharges in his time. Let him run. Like I was watching some of that stuff the other day when Trump got shot.
Yeah.
And I am literally shaking my head, going, what are you people doing? Like I did some close quarter because I was running with a general in overseas, right? And we did a lot of that. And it's like, why didn't you have somebody standing on that roof?
Yeah.
The Pac-Man, 100 yards.
Yeah.
100 yards. And he missed.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Is it a setup?
I don't think so. Again, I think it's just that general ineptitude, and we've got the DEI stuff in play. and there were multiple jurisdictions there. Like, it was a joint operation between the Secret Service and the local police, and the local police were the ones who had control over the area where that building was. They were supposed to be controlling access to it. Now, if somebody looked the other way in that police department, I guess it's entirely possible, but I don't really need any kind of a grand conspiracy to explain what happened there, I find. So I try to go with the simplest explanation. You know, I know it's probably not a popular explanation either.
No. I'm 100%.
It's
I honestly think it was set up.
Could be.
As in, you didn't take the shot. I was watching Dan Bongino the other day. He's ex, right? And
yeah,
he's like
Secret Service, yeah,
ex-Secret Service. Bush, everybody, right? And they say they have license to kill before they take the shot. Before the shooter shoots, they're licensed to kill. They can. There's a guy with a gun pointing at the president. Bang, dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that would just be their rules of engagement, right? I mean, there was this rumor going around that the guy was asking permission to shoot and he wasn't getting the authorization. And I was saying, yeah, I don't think that's true. I think they probably have rules of engagement that allow them to fire under certain circumstances. And even if the guy was hesitant, like, it would have been his call as to whether or not, you know, the criteria were met. When you got a goddamn sniper on the roof, I'm sure they are. So
and the head of the Secret Service is this woman. This DEI who was appointed by Jill Biden. God. Joe Biden doesn't even know it's a man. I haven't talked to him in a while. It's like, dude, it's a man. No, it's not a man. Oh, you can't make anyway. Long story. She said in an interview that they couldn't put snipers on that roof because it was a sloped roof.
Yeah.
You see behind Donald Trump, the sniper team is on a sloped roof.
Yeah.
You see them on top of the White House, but he's standing on a sloped roof.
Yeah.
And it's not a heavy grade. It's only like, I don't know, 3 and 12 or 1 and 12. 1-4 forward. Right. So she's got to go. So
that's her excuse, but I mean, if this guy can pull it off and stand on a sloped roof,
yeah,
then I don't see.
Jimmy, get off the roof.
And for those of you just listening, I'm showing a video of a cow who has somehow climbed up on the roof. And I think if he can manage it with his hoofs, then probably.
I think I've seen that video, and the farmer's yelling at him, "Jimmy, get off the roof! Get off the roof!" And the cow's just looking around. What?
Yeah, too funny.
So you've got that going on. You've got November is going to be amazing. Yeah. He's going to walk it. It's going to be a landslide from the whole country. Yeah. It's going to go completely red. Maybe not California, maybe parts of it, but this is what we've been waiting for 4 years.
And it is shaping up to be a landslide. Of course, I'll give the Dan Bongino caution here and say, like, it's not in the bag, okay? Like, last time around, we thought it was in the bag, and it wasn't in the bag. Now, last time around, I'm pretty sure they cheated. I mean, I stayed up to watch Florida polls close. You know, I was working in the morning or something, so I think I stayed up until midnight or something watching to see Florida close, because that's always kind of the indicator as to which way the rest of the country is going to go. And they went red, and I was like, hell yeah. And I went to bed sleeping soundly, knowing that Western civilization was saved. And then when I woke up in the morning, it was like it had completely flipped, and it's all Biden. And then I'm like, how could it possibly be Biden? And then I could take another look at it, and I'm like, the polls haven't closed? What the hell is going on? Like, this is
a water leak.
Yeah,
a water leak, and then they start putting cardboard up so nobody can see them counting.
Yeah. Shady across the board, especially in Pennsylvania, where the shooting just took place. They broke their own election laws left, right, and center. So, I mean,
Georgia's just as bad. So is Minnesota.
Yeah.
All these swing states that are blue see that he was going to win, and it's like we have to stop counting so we can actually bring the votes in. And when you have 200, 300,000 votes for Biden only,
yeah,
they count them and say, okay, well, here's 300,000 votes. Is any of them for Trump? No, they're all Biden.
Yeah.
Wrong size paper.
We have the video of the vans bringing the boxes in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and you see them pulling ballots from underneath tables that were covered up. And then you see them close everybody off, and those two women sat there just running them.
Yeah.
But the thing is, everybody was too busy watching the mainstream media.
Yeah.
Everybody was watching CNN, MSNBC, ABC, all the legacy media. And they're saying, no. This is a problem with our democracy. And you see like 40 of them all saying the same thing, right? You've seen that, right?
Yeah.
But people weren't waking up yet. They had to be shown how bad it is.
Yeah.
Right? And then, I think, yeah, go ahead.
So I was just going to say it was Texas who started the lawsuit, and I think 20 states joined the lawsuit to sue Pennsylvania, saying they broke their own election laws. And you know, it was just ridiculous. Like the Supreme Court were like, okay, yeah, like maybe you have a case here, but the election hasn't been certified, so we're not going to hear it. It gets certified on January 6th. And then we all know what happened on January 6th. I mean, it was the protest that was labeled an insurrection, and there are still people in jail to this day. Some of them serving sentences in excess of 20 years. Some people like Enrico Terrier, who's the leader of the Proud Boys, president, and he wasn't even at the Capitol on January 6th, and I think he got 22 years. So I mean, they jailed their political opponents. They're keeping them in absolutely heinous conditions. And then after that, the Supreme Court said, oh, it's moot. Like the election's already certified. We can't overturn an election. It's all moot. Yeah. Well, then you should have heard it beforehand, shouldn't you? So it was just a big freaking stitch up.
Complete stitch up. And the fact that now Americans have seen what they were trying to stop. What Trump was trying to stop. He's trying to stop. He said we're going to go to war. We're now there's two wars on the verge of nuclear war.
Yep.
Homelessness, all the people that just stream it. And guess what? It's in every country, every Western country.
Yep. Weaponized migration.
Yeah, exactly. And this is all comes back to George Soros's open society.
Yeah.
And it all
yeah, and I think the CCP as well. Like weaponized migration is one of the strategies that they talk about in unrestricted warfare as well.
Yeah.
I think they have a different term for it, but I say weaponized migration because that's what they mean.
Well, that's what they were doing in World War II.
Yeah.
It's like we'll destroy the city, and everybody's going to start rushing towards the West. The Russians, perfect. We will bomb the snot. And where are the Germans going to go? They're not going to go towards the Russians. They came straight, and it was all refugees. Now you got to deal with a war. Now you got to deal with 1 million refugees. But the thing is, now the refugees that we have now are. Remember when the Americans said we're going to go fight we're going to go fight in the Middle East so we don't have to fight them here?
Yeah.
Guess what?
They're here now.
You had your fight, and you created a lot of enemies right there.
Yeah.
You killed my dad. You killed my uncle, and I was 5. I am now 25.
Yeah.
And I'm going back to I'm going to Canada. I'm going to England. I'm going to Europe, and there will be an intifada, and they are there
calling for it openly in the streets.
Yeah. And what do the police do? Nothing.
Oh no, they'll bring them coffee and hold the doors open for them. Maybe cordon off downtown Ottawa so they can do their march around the National War Monument, where the veterans aren't allowed to ride their motorcycles.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, we have this kind of two-tier justice at the moment. I think it goes back to Herbert Marcuse's essay. It was called Liberating Tolerance, which is actually repressive tolerance. It's intolerance towards all things right-wing and blanket tolerance towards all things left-wing. And Hamas is part of the global left, the global progressive movement, according to what's her name? She's the one with the gender as a social construct there. It'll come to me anyway, but she's a boomer professor and the seminal thought leader on the left, and she identifies Hamas as part of the global left. So yeah, I mean, the left gets to run amok as much as they want, but anytime if anything even remotely right wing, not that I'm saying Rolling Thunder is right wing necessarily, it's really just a bunch of veterans who
I am right in the center.
Yeah,
I am right in the center, but they've gone so far left. I am not
you're right wing to them. Yeah, you're right wing to them.
Yeah, like I am an immigrant. I came here in '72 with my family. I have no issues with immigrants coming into our country. Come in legally, go through the steps, and if you come into this country, you better learn how to play hockey. Right? Plain and simple. And I do feel for these people that have come into our country that have been lied to by our government, saying, look, we will help you, we'll do this, that, and the other. We will pay you, but you don't have a house.
Yeah.
You can't afford to buy food. You have to go to the food banks. And these kids that never know that maybe their mom and dad in India mortgaged their farm so they can send little Rajneesh to Guelph to take a basket weaving course, hoping that he will get permanent residency because he was told in India that this is a back door into becoming a Canadian citizen.
Yeah.
And then once you're here for so long, you can have a visa to bring your whole family for a visit.
Yeah.
And then they're here and they don't leave.
Yeah.
So they've been lied to.
Oh yeah.
So I'm concerned about this country. Very concerned.
I'm more concerned, I would say, like with what they're doing with Gazans right now. India, like, obviously any mass immigration is going to be harmful to the society, but a lot of the students themselves that are coming here, like they do seem to be mostly polite and nice and hardworking and stuff. Now there are the criminal elements that are coming in as well, and we're seeing lots of that. I'm not saying that doesn't exist, and clearly they can't drive tractor trailers for shit, but a lot of them I think are coming here in an earnest effort seeking a better life.
Exactly.
So I feel like for the most part, like we're talking about the victims in all of this. There are the elements, like the Khalistani separatists and stuff like that, that certainly are troubling. But even more troubling than that is this idea that we're going to bring, what are they saying now? Like 5,000 Gazans here, and through chain migration, they get to bring a bunch of their relatives too. Like they had one guy who brought something like 43 relatives in with him. So, I mean, you bring 5,000, you could be talking about 200,000 people here. Like it's just insane, coming from a terror state, essentially. So, that's not going to go well at all.
Yeah. They voted in Hamas.
Yeah, they did.
They voted in Hamas.
They still and still the polling data indicates that the support is in like the high 80s for.
So why are they okay? I think it was back in 1967 when the PLO. I think it was 67, but anyways, they ended up going into Jordan, and the king of Jordan said, "We do not want you here," but they came in as refugees.
Yeah.
Then the Palestinians started up their own political party, and then they started to run for government, but they weren't Jordanians.
Yeah, they're ethnically Jordanian for the most part.
the Palestinians
Yeah.
left and they went into Jordan, and they weren't Jordanian citizens. And they said, and the king of Jordan was saying, no, you can't do this. You can't come in here and start running Jordan like it was your own country.
Yeah.
And then there was a Pakistani general. I saw it on YouTube the other day. And this guy killed something like 60,000 Palestinians.
Wow.
Jordan doesn't want them. Saudi Arabia doesn't want them. Egypt has a bigger wall than the fucking Berlin Wall.
Yeah.
And minefields.
Bigger than Israel's.
They don't want them.
Nope.
Nobody wants them in the area because they are bad news.
Yeah.
Because they've got one mindset. Kill the Jews, all Jews.
Yeah.
So once they come to Canada, the anti-Semitism is just going through the roof. So you want to bring them in here. Next thing you know, we have a couple of people. They are Canadians from Palestine, and we're going to vote them into power. Next thing you know, we got Sharia law, anti-Semitism. It's just going to go through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
They should not.
I remember the Palestinians fought in the Gulf War too, in like the liberation of Kuwait, and even after they did that, Kuwait were like, no, you guys have to leave now. You have to get out. Like,
bye-bye. You can't stay.
You see, like these Emiratis, the guys from the UAE, they're pretty candid about this stuff now. Like the UAE gives me a lot of hope for the area because they were lighting the menorah, during Hanukkah there last going off. So it seems like, even Saudi Arabia is coming around. We got the Abraham Accords and all this stuff. And these are the guys that are doing YouTube videos that are saying, you Westerners, you think you understand the Middle East better than we understand the Middle East? Yeah. You're naive. Like there's a reason why we're not taking all these refugees, like say in the wake of the Syrian civil war. There's a reason why we're not allowing these people to come into our countries. And you guys seem to think that you know better how to handle these Middle East situations than we do. But you'll see soon enough. Basically, like you're gonna have to learn your lesson the hard way. So, and I'm afraid that's just the way that it has to go for an awful lot of people. Too many people in the West right now who are blind to this stuff, right? And again, this is why I think if there's anybody that people should be listening to right now, it's probably the veterans, because like we were the guys that were over there, and we kind of we have at least some appreciation for the way things are, more so than the average Canadian for sure.
I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure a lot of Canadians don't know what Man Love Thursday is.
No, they don't. No. We want to tell us about Man Love Thursday there, Neil?
Okay. It's a tradition in Afghanistan that how can I put it? Women are for procreation. Men are for sexual exploitation.
Yeah.
On Thursdays, something called a T-boy. 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 young boys dance around in veils about a bunch of old, dirty old men. I'm talking like 50s, 60s, and maybe something a little younger in their 30s, whatever. And they bugger these boys on Thursdays. Man Love Thursdays.
Yeah.
And it is true.
Yep.
On my children's lives. It is true. There was a couple of times. There was a Thursday we were driving down. There was this old man, and he had this kid. I think it was on a Friday, and we were driving. We just left the fob. We're going through this little town, and you see this little boy. And they put makeup on them too. They dress him up just like little girls. And this kid had mascara, tears running down his face. This kid was no more than 5. And you see this old guy sitting haunched down. I'd say he's probably, I know, maybe for an Afghani, they look old. I'd say he's about 40 something.
Mm-hmm.
and he's missing a few teeth, and he's just dirty, and he's just holding onto this boy's hand like, I got you. Like, and the kid's trying to pull away. This guy's not letting him get away. And we're driving. All I wanted to do, I just want to double tap that guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Man Love Thursdays.
Yeah.
So that's what veterans do. That's what we've seen.
Yeah.
And that perpetuates through
generations.
No.
Through the culture.
Yeah, through the culture. And it's not just Afghan. It goes everywhere. You talk
like
about Man Love Thursdays, I said. Boy play.
Yeah. This is I'm showing the Wikipedia page for the Bacha Bazi. That's what they're called in Afghanistan. It means boy play. And this is a part of their culture. And I'm glad you used that word because, you know, in this politically correct woke paradigm that we live in these days, you're not allowed to criticize culture. And I'm like, yeah, we need to criticize culture because most cultures are sick. And this is one of them. This is a barbaric cultural practice, the Bacha Bazi, boy play, that takes place in Afghanistan. And, you know, here's a picture. They got a bunch of these Talibastards sitting around, and this poor boy is dressed up in some kind of a dress. You can see videos of them dancing for them and stuff like this. Like it's absolutely sick. And this is something that even the Afghan National Army commanders were engaged in. They'd have their own little boy toy that they'd kind of take around with them, you know, to blow off some steam in the evening or whatever it was. But when Neil's talking about Man Love Thursday, like that's absolutely a real thing. Like I said, I worked with the drone detachment, so you know I got the bird's eye view. And every Thursday that we were out there, all over the rooftops, all over Afghanistan, that's what you saw is like some greasy, dirty old bastard, you know, all snuggled up with his boy toy on a rooftop somewhere. And not just somewhere, but even like inside the wire on our own base where we had contractors, you know, local contractors and stuff like that. Like they were doing this on our own base. And our chain of command told us, you know, that we weren't supposed to talk about that. You're not allowed to criticize culture. You got to turn a blind eye to that stuff. Oh, that's just their culture. Oh yeah, child rape is a part of their culture. Well, that's a sick freaking culture. And you know, I do think that we probably should have stamped that out while we were there, but because of political correctness, we didn't.
So is that only in Afghanistan they do that, or does that go across the Middle East?
I'm not sure how widespread it is, but yeah, my understanding is that, you know, I'm basically at a position now where I think this is sort of a default part of the human condition. Like when it comes to tyranny, in particular, like Aldous Huxley, he illustrated how the sexualization of children was sort of part of the natural constituent of children or of tyranny in Brave New World. The children were forced to engage in erotic play. Of course, that sounds pretty damn familiar now. That we see everything going on around us, but everybody thought he was sick at the time for writing about it. But yeah, we can see the children forced to engage in erotic play here in Canada with your drag queen grooming hours all over the place. There's the Bacha Bazi in Afghanistan. Children are sold into sex slavery in China. You know, they're rounded up all over the world and trafficked all over the place. This is something that is gaining more and more attention these days. But yeah, I think that it's just sort of a default part of the human condition that we had more or less overcome in the West, but we fall backward, you know, every so often. Like
it is a complete taboo. You're not allowed. It's against the law to do it, and everybody knows it's wrong. But in the West, the sneaky little fuckers get around and try and get around on. These are why they get arrested for child porn, right?
Yeah.
So it's still part of. It's still part of the Western culture, but it's like we've got a grip on it. It's like you're not so fucking supposed to do this, right?
Yeah.
But in their culture, it's like have at it. We brought you a T-boy. Get on the roof while you're flying drones. Your buddy's on top of the roof.
Yeah.
So it's now, how can I put it? They are trying to make it normal. They're trying to normalize it. And that is, how can I put it? I don't own a weapon. No, I do not own a weapon. I went with my pal, and then I went, nah, I don't want a weapon, because if I need one, I'll get one. I would probably be offing people. But I don't have a weapon. I know CSIS. No, if I saw some guy banging some kid, I would go to jail. I know, Jeff, I'm probably going to say something crazy. It's like, dude, no listening. But
I don't think that's crazy, Neil. I don't think anybody thinks that's crazy.
Oh, no, I don't think it's crazy. The government is going to look at this and go, he said he would shoot pedophiles. Fucking right, I will.
Yeah.
Yes, I will. And every single man in this country should feel the same way. Somebody tries to bang your little girl, rape your little girl, rape your little boy. That's where daddy comes out. Daddy just got the fuck off the couch.
Yeah.
And I think a lot more men in this country needs to stop watching fucking hockey and get off the fucking couch.
Yeah.
Because once dad gets off the couch, shit's going down.
Yeah. Enough is enough already. Like, leave the kids alone.
Absolutely. And anybody that said, "Oh, it's okay," no, you're just as fucking bad. Just
it's insane.
Hold on a second. Just carry on talking. I just got to get something here. I'm starting to getting thirsty.
Yeah, no worries. I was just going to say that it's kind of insane, actually, the way a lot of these wokesters are, because I'll go online and comment about these things. Like, sometimes I go into the comment wars, it's mostly just sort of in the Facebook groups from my local area, because everybody's really sleepy around here. So I just kind of throw in these, I throw these grenades in there once in a while to kind of stir the pot and, shake things up, because too many people are in an echo chamber and they just don't realize that there's any other perspective out there, or if there is, it's coming from some kind of an idiot or an evil person or whatever. And so I'll throw these grenades in there and just engage a little bit to kind of slap them around and show them how stupid they are. But it's alarming, the kind of comments that I'll get when I'm talking about, the sexualization of children or the medicalization of children, this sexual butchery of children that we're seeing all over the place in Canada right now, with over 700 teenage girls having their breasts removed, now permanent medical patients. And, I'll throw these comments in there about this stuff into these groups, and it's just absurd what they'll come back with. Like, first they'll say that's not happening, and then I'll show them a picture. Like when it was Pride Month, I guess Pride season, whatever it is, and I was doing a lot of posts on that, and people would say, "Oh yeah, no, men are not walking around naked in front of children," and I'll show them a picture. Like, here's a picture from behind of a naked man standing in front of a child who is clearly traumatized. You can tell by the look on their face. And, the reactions that I'll get at that point is just like, okay, well, it is happening, but it's not bad. They're just penises and all of this stuff, right? What's the big deal? They're just penises. The big deal is not the penis, it's the child, okay? Yeah. We've known for a very long time, since time immemorial, that early sexualization of children is bad for them. So it's traumatizing, and we shouldn't do it. But, here we are having to relearn these Stone Age lessons all over again. Oh, yeah. Freedom Honey is with us, ladies and gentlemen. He says, "Sorry, I'm late, Jeff. That's okay, brother. But you owe me some push-ups. So drop it. Give me 20.
Yeah. No. 40. I'm taking 2. Hey, buddy.
There you go.
Yeah. And here's another thing. There was when the Pride Parade gets shut down by Gaza, Palestinians, and there was only 5 of them. Why couldn't they just walk past them? And but then you see those guys walking by with their dicks hanging out right in front of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or there was one video. The guy's getting a blowjob. He's standing off on the side of the road, and Buddy's in there just giving the old fucking. And you're like, this is not right.
No. But the police are confronted on it, and they're just going, "Oh well, if it's kind of off to the side, then it's not illegal." What? Where's that written down?
but it's illegal for me to ride my motorcycle around the Veterans Memorial.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So how do we
it's
fix
bizarre
this?
world.
How do we fix it?
Uh,
we can sit here all day and talk about it, but what can we do without going into pitchforks and torches?
I think whatever it is they're doing to us, we just got to do back to them. They counter demonstrated us when we were doing the 1 million March for Children, and Camille O'Shea went out there and said, we're going to counter demonstrate you guys now. So I think we got to do that. I say, no more willful blindness. That's why I show pictures, because it's just undeniable. When you show what's been done to these people with these gender transitions and stuff like that, it's undeniable that that this is just heinous butchery that's being done to them. So we got to wake people up. We got to shock them a little bit. I think that shock effect is definitely valuable. And lawfare is another one. I mean, lawfare is being waged against us. I think we need to embrace lawfare and start hitting them back and take these people to court. Obviously, the political process is something that needs to be engaged as well.
I'm concerned about the lawfare, though.
Yeah,
because the courts have been corrupted.
Oh yeah.
When was it the guy who wrote the Charter of Rights? He went to court and said this was illegal. He helped write it. What's his name?
Oh, you're talking about. Oh shoot, I'm blanking again. Peckford, Brian Peckford.
Brian Peckford. He went to court. I said, what you did is against the Charter of Rights. And the judge turned around and says, well, the mandates are over, so this case is now moot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's insane. Like, I honestly think we should go to like a. I think we should.
That one still has to go to the Supreme Court. That was just the initial decision. Like they're going to appeal it, and I think it's actually got to go to the federal court first. Like it hasn't even gotten that far. But yeah, there's going to be some appeals there. And it's totally insane. Like you said, it's like they can violate your rights, but as long as they're not violating your rights right now, it's in the past, then it's fine. Like it's completely absurd, the position that they've been taking. But these are the same people who took judicial notice for all of the concerns that we tried to raise about the rollout of the vaccine. The Supreme Court, they're the ones who came out and said, yeah, everybody who works at the Supreme Court is now vaccinated. So they had the opportunity to come out there and make a stand for bodily autonomy and human rights, but they went completely in the other direction and said, no, we're on board with this tyranny. However, what I would say, like with all the complaining that we're doing and stuff like that, like we have gotten some favorable decisions as well, with the Emergency Measures Act having been declared ultra vires, and we're getting some lawsuits are getting traction now, especially out west. There's there are a few of them for vaccine injured. Ontario and Alberta have some vaccine injured lawsuits that are coming forward. Hartman, he's got his lawsuit there, Answers for Sean, for the little boy who died.
Yeah, and 17-year-old, so we could play hockey.
So just keep hitting them, and I think that in the aggregate, like the majority of decisions, I think, are probably going to be favorable. Like it's going to take us a while to kind of turn this ship around because it's really big and it's got lots of inertia. But in the aggregate, over time, like we'll accumulate enough wins that it'll get us there. But it's a war. It's not a single battle.
Absolutely.
It's going to take years, not weeks or months, right?
I hope I'm still alive when it happens. No, seriously, no. Dude, I just turned 60. I got 10 years. I got 10 good years in me.
Yeah.
I just want these men, these millennials, to stand up and fight. As Trump would say, fight, and fight. Because it's up to you guys now.
And I think like that was a watershed moment.
And the Gen X'ers.
Oh, yeah. I think that's all we know how to do is fight. We've been fighting our whole lives. Like we've been at war my entire adult life. So.
Yeah, pretty much. Because, well, think of it this way. The millennials and Gen Z, oh, well, my mental health. No, if you got a problem, if I got a problem with you, Jeff, it's like, you, outside, let's fucking go. and we go out there and we beat the snot out of each other. Either we become absolutely hate each other for the rest of our lives, or it's like, oh, dude, want to go get a beer? Done. You get that out of your head. But now it's like we need a pill. Everybody needs a pill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So millennials, you got to stand up. Gen Z, you've got to wake the fuck up.
Gen Z, I'm optimistic for them. The polling data shows that they are coming out into voting age now, surprisingly right-wing, surprisingly conservative. Yeah, I think they've kind of had enough of this shit. Like they're the ones who just got utterly abused throughout the whole pandemic. And they're really waking up to just what's been done to them, I think. So it seems like I'm optimistic for guys like the Save Canada boys, you know, that that are coming out. And we saw like some of the stuff that they did. They have momentum, like they have support from the student bases and stuff like this. So I'm pretty optimistic that once they come into voting age, we're going to see that pendulum start to swing back the other way. And also that's another thing that happens at the resolution of the fourth turning. It's Gen Z coming into voting age and the boomers retiring from our institutions. And well, once that happens, the institutional power transfers to Gen X, and we've been putting up with this political correctness, now wokeness, our entire lives, and we're sick of it too. So you know, I think once
we are the last generation that grew up without the internet.
Yeah. I didn't have internet until I was almost 20, I think.
I think it came out in like 91, 92.
Yeah.
I
But it wasn't really widely available right away. I had dial-up in the 90s and
the screaming cat.
Yeah.
The screaming. I think I got it. I think I was 28. 28 when I got the internet. And now these kids, they grew up with a phone when they're a baby, so they can watch diddly do on the fucking phone. So
they're quite savvy too. Like they're very technically savvy.
I know, because I uber boomer here. I have a hard time shutting the fucking computer off sometimes. I did that video last year and I didn't even know how to turn it off. Did I turn this off? I sound like my grandmother. It's like, did I turn Jonathan? How do I turn this thing off? And the camera's still running. Everybody's watching me, laughing at me.
Yeah.
But these guys, they're going to be able to navigate this quickly and fast, and that's why they don't want us on the internet. Because there's actually, I said something in my speech when I was on CPAC. Politicians are terrified of three things. They're terrified of a free vote. They're terrified of free speech. And at one point in time, they were terrified of the press. They're terrified of the press because back in the day, if you had a problem with like a business or the law or something, your last resort was, that's it, I'm going to the press. They will find the truth and they will print the fact that you're doing this, this, and this. But they've been bought off.
Yeah.
And as I said to, I asked all the journalists that were there. There was like 5, but I looked right into the camera and I said, why did you become a journalist? It wasn't for the money. You want the truth. And you guys are the ones that's supposed to hold the government to hold its feet to the fire. Because I tell you one thing, when PP gets in, I'm not quite sure about him yet, but I'm pretty sure the lefty mainstream is just going to be all over him, like they are on Trump. They're going to be all over him. They're trying right now.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Oh, the Liberal Party's putting out their attack ads with the side-by-side, you know, of Donald Trump saying a thing that's remotely similar to a thing that Pierre Poilievre is saying, and they're saying that he's importing their politics in here. And it's like, well, the best 3 years of my adult life in terms of peace and prosperity in the world were during the Trump years. So maybe it's just that these ideas work, you know?
Yeah.
It's,
I don't know. If you think every single human being on this planet, they want to have enough food in their belly, a place to live, and a safe place for their family to grow up. Every single human being on this planet wants those three things: food in their belly, a place to live, and safety. And that's all they want to do. That's all they want to do. That's Trump and PP and all these people are saying, look, safety. There's no safety in our country anymore. Jeff, you can no longer protect yourself. You have to call the police. They've got some guys breaking into your house. You're not allowed to defend yourself, says Trudeau.
Yeah.
So taking the food, taking our homes, taking our safety.
Yeah. 1,000%, man. Yeah, and you were talking about your speech on the Hill there. So, and I guess we covered a little bit of how the Rolling Thunder went down there this year. Like there weren't as many bikes because of the rescheduling, and we still weren't allowed to go, around the monument. But like you were in Ottawa for quite a while, weren't you?
The day of the CPAC or in Ottawa itself for Rolling Thunder?
For Rolling Thunder.
No, we drove, like I said, we left Antrim around 11 o'clock. We got to the monument around 12. We rolled out and we went off to Bobstock, had a barbecue. And that was it.
But I mean, like staging for the event and prepping for it and stuff. Were you in the area, the vicinity of Ottawa for a while? I'm just curious, like what your experience was like in dealing with the local authorities, the press, that kind of thing.
I got no press.
I was searching for a news article. I couldn't find one.
No press at all. And I think they made a mistake the very first year that they made it blow up. The press made it blow up. Rolling Thunder, the truck, blah, 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 blah. And it went out all over the place.
Remember this gem in the Globe and Mail?
Hold on.
It says Canada's War Memorial is a reminder of selfless sacrifice, not a vaudeville stage for loud-mouthed ignoramuses. That's what Adrian Clarkson said about us. Remember that? It was like I was there. I gave a speech. We were both there. We laid some wreaths. We had a parade. I was the sergeant major on parade. There was, coming to attention, singing "O Canada," giving some speeches, laying some wreaths. And this is the former governor of the former governor general, so commander in chief of the Canadian Armed Forces, talking about veterans, and she's calling us loud-mouthed ignoramuses. That was how we were received the first year.
Yep. Do you know what? I didn't read any mainstream media. I didn't talk to any. The first time I did get a couple of people reach out to me. I want to talk to one guy online, and I was like, "Oh, so Chris Guy's going to be talking." I went, "I got nothing to do with Chris Guy." Well, he's on your poster, so I didn't make the poster. And I like Chris Guy's message, just not the guy.
No, anyway. I mean, I think Chris Guy has been, he's a hard fighter and stuff and all of this. And really early on, like he emboldened a lot of people to push back against this, called BS on a lot of stuff and everything like that. But of course, he just gets raked over the coals anytime you stand up to the tyranny. So, they smear, they tar and feather, and then they use that and try and make that stick to you. When you're doing something that's like not even related to anything Chris Guy is doing. This is about giving dignity back to a monument because of what's been done to veterans by their own government that they serve.
Yeah, you attacked veterans on their memorial.
Mm-hmm.
They attacked them. So hopefully next year it'll be a bit better. Anyways, let me tell you what. Okay, first of all, I did talk to the police this year.
Yeah.
And it was basically a one-way conversation. As in, they said no. I said, okay, fine. So if you're watching this, Sergeant Lee, I may not even tell you when we're coming in next year. So you might want to have a lot of cops every day around that monument all next year. think about the amount of money you're going to spend. And I don't know, maybe another $3 million and arrest 3 people, including Jeff. Yeah. So get ready, put some overtime out, boys, because I may not tell you next year when I'm coming in. But if I can go, go ahead.
I may be allowed to go too. So,
ooh, there you go.
Or I might be in jail. I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think you'll be going to jail. Stay in my timeline.
Don't jinx it, man.
Stay in my timeline, brother. Stay in my time. You know, you're not going to jail. So anyway,
Cindy thinks it's a good idea. Yeah, let's mess with the cops a little bit.
Or say we're coming in and just have one bike roll through.
One bike?
One bike.
Yeah.
Say
sounds good.
I'm going to go up to the monument. Why? Your protest? No, I'm going that direction. I'm going up the top of that hill. Why? Because I got to go up there and turn right. But anyway, yeah. So I didn't have any love with the cops this year. The OPP was fine.
Yeah.
It's the OPS.
Yeah, they hate us.
Oh yeah, they hate us. And the fact. Oh, by the way, the very first. Did I tell you last year when Norm brought his convoy in on Friday on the first year? Bridges, whatever. He was just like a little miniature convoy that made it right downtown.
Yeah.
On Friday.
Bridges to Freedom.
Yeah, Bridges to Freedom. Yeah, they came in town. For me to get to my hotel, I had to go through 3 checkpoints on my motorcycle to get to the Marriott. I went through 3 checkpoints. And then how does he get a whole convoy downtown? And guess who his liaison officer was? Sergeant Lee. My liaison officer.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because when Norm called me up the next day and he goes, "You tabernacle, you told me blah, blah, blah." I said, "Dude, you knew they were going to use you." And he goes, "Yeah, well, Sergeant Lee said I could do that." I said, whoa. Who? He goes, "Yeah, that Sergeant Lee guy, my liaison officer." I went, "Oh, mine too." So it was we all know we're stitched up because they made it look on the news like this is what's happening. And everybody on the motorcycles that were iffy about going, I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right.
They're making it out to be another terrorist convoy, huh?
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, hopefully if we end up, I got some thinking to do because if I want to take this to court, I don't know how to do that. Plus, I don't have the money for it. Right. So I may talk to somebody, find out, say, how do I figure this out? Get a judge to work on this. To say, no,
try these guys. The Accountability Project.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, federal not-for-profit with a mandate to advocate for human rights, including raising funds for public interest plaintiffs and class action lawsuits. Okay. So this
you're gonna have to send me that.
Sure, I'll drop it in the chat right now for you and for everybody else. This was kind of like the Veterans for Freedom Support Fund. It's now been migrated over to the Accountability Project. So we were raising funds to just kind of help people with anybody who was suffering under this tyranny. And we've since migrated that over to the Accountability Project for these public interest cases to help people sue our tyrannical government. So yeah, you might be a good candidate there, Neil. Reach out.
Yeah, because like I said, we've done exactly what we planned on doing every single year. No deviations. Yeah. And now they're like, they're so butthurt.
Yeah.
So butthurt.
Yeah.
And apparently, what's his name? Dr. Evil, that little minion. We will chase you down, Bell. He's still He's still got a job in OPS.
Oh my God.
He still has a job. Jesus. And I got a feeling I think he's not is he the deputy chief or maybe I think he dropped down a couple ranks, but he's still got a say in what happens.
Yeah.
So I got a feeling that he's I I got a feeling he's got a lot to do with this.
He was just Jim Watson's boy, though. You know, the mayor of Ottawa there. That's what I got from the Emergency Measures Act inquiry was, you know, because they went through, he was the third chief they had that week, and he was interim Chief Bell, not even like official Chief Bell or anything like that. So he was just the guy who was willing to beat up the veterans, and that's why he got put in that spot, hoping it would be permanent. But I think, you know, they were just using him because they knew that he was a coward, and he would just do whatever the hell he was told. And they call him Tinkerbell too. It's just for anybody who's not familiar with that story, because he let his own partner. Yeah, he let his own partner get the snot beat out of him, apparently, by some big biker guy or something like that. And he locked himself in the squad car and wouldn't even
watch his buddy get beat up.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. So
wow.
Yeah, that's the rumor anyway. That's what they say. They call him Tinkerbell. So because he's a coward.
Well, it's kind of like what's our CDS Air?
Oh yeah, same thing. Same thing.
Yeah.
He got that job because he was the one who was willing to bully and
vaccinate
vaccinate
all the boys.
Yeah, that's right. Neil, we're just coming over the 2-hour mark here, brother. It's been it flew by. Great chat with you. I think I'll just hand it over to you for a final thought before we sign things off here.
Okay. Okay. I don't know how many of you people, about 4 years ago, a video came out where there's video of Justin Trudeau walking around with an ankle bracelet. I don't know if you saw that, Jeff. Him and Sophie came out of the cottage early COVID, and you can see the outline, an ankle bracelet. Why would he have an ankle bracelet on? There's a okay, I don't know how many white hats, black hats, good guys, bad guys. I got a feeling personally that he was arrested for certain individual things that I'm not going to say right now. But I think he's being played by the people that have access to the Epstein list. Like, they're not going to put it out. They're going to blackmail people. They're going to make them do things. Do you really think Justin Trudeau is in control of this country?
No, sir.
Not at all. And do you think that maybe someone's saying, we're going to make you make it so bad for the Canadians that they will wake up?
I don't
and
know.
because there's one thing that, what does Justin Trudeau love the most? Himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been doing he does so many strange things, insane things. And do you really think last year, was it last year? I think it was last April, not this past April, April before, when he got that Dumb and Dumber haircut?
Yeah.
Do you think he did that by himself? Do you think he did that voluntarily? Or do you think that might have been a punishment?
Oh, I think whoever cut his hair was definitely, yeah.
There's a punishment. And right now, Justin Trudeau is a global pariah.
Mm-hmm.
He cannot go anywhere. And he wanted to be the Vogue boy. He wanted to be the GQ boy. He wanted to be the everybody loves me. Nobody likes him in the world. Politicians hate him.
Yeah.
Canadians hate him. A lot of people in the world look at Justin Trudeau and go, fuck you. You're a drama teacher. And that's the biggest punishment towards him, because he can't go anywhere. Have you noticed how his security detail looks like Donald Trump's now? It used to be 10 cops. Now he's got 50 cops and he's got wagons and stuff like that. So I honestly think that Justin Trudeau is being played to wake Canadians up. That's just my opinion. But when you see him walking around, actually about 2 or 3 videos, and it's different spots where you can see the outline on his pants, and you see it on Sophie's pants.
Mm-hmm.
So, my thought of the day, Jeff.
All right.
I know I put you on the spot there. So all right, brother. You're like, what the fuck is he talking about?
No, I appreciate it, man. I know that he is just the Wizard of Oz. It is the puppet master that we're after here. So I encourage people to perhaps not be naive with respect to what's really going on here. I mean, I think this is World War III. It's just that it's been all soft power up to this point. It's not kinetic. I think the CCP are probably running the same agenda that they ran in Sri Lanka, where they basically captured the elites, got them to borrow tons and tons and tons of cash from China, and even went to China for a bailout when they couldn't pay it. Instead of going to the IMF, they didn't even so much as call the IMF to see if they could get any kind of bailout measures like they did for Greece or anything like that. Not that, I'm saying that's necessarily a good thing, but it's still preferable to going to the CCP and becoming utterly dependent on them. And now these other countries like India, neighboring countries of Sri Lanka, are trying to band together to bail them out and tear them away from the clutches of the CCP. And that's how they implode a country. And they end up with these international ports in a very strategically located position right off the coast of India. I think that's what they're essentially doing. It's kind of like McKay said in that clip that I showed there, where he said that they're trying to turn us into a vassal state. And I think that's the agenda that they're running globally. I often point out that, we in the West, we play chess where we're going to try to capture a single piece like the king. It's maybe analogous to a capital city, like the race for Berlin in real life. But the Chinese, they play Go, where it's, all pieces are equal and the game is to capture the entire board, all of the pieces, make it so that your opponent can't even move. And that's how you win. And that's what I think we see them doing, is they're infiltrating all of our institutions, the business sector, the political donor class, the politicians are borrowing left, right, and center. And it's not quite the Belt and Road Initiative that it is in other countries, but it's kind of just a repackaged Belt and Road Initiative for Canada. So that's the basic strategy. It's the kind of thing that we can't really know for sure at this stage, but we got to make judgment calls. So that's kind of where I landed. And whoever is pulling the strings, though, it is not Justin Trudeau. That guy, that duplicitous Ken doll, has never had an original thought in his head. So don't fool yourselves on that one.
All right. Well, Jeff, it's been a pleasure, man. And to everybody,
Likewise,
okay, I'm going back into the comments. I was in private chat for a second. All right. Christine, Cindy, Aldi, Cindy, and
I'll plug the Veterans for Freedom website while you're just checking that, and then we'll throw out a few comments before I sign off. Subscribe to our newsletter here. Join Veterans for Freedom if you're a veteran here. Shiloh, I saw your comment earlier. I think it was on a previous episode, actually. You didn't hear back about your membership yet. So I actually just sent an email off while I was streaming here with Neil about that. We're going to follow up for you, brother. And you can support Veterans for Freedom by clicking support here. Like I said, we've migrated the support fund over to the accountability project. So that's offline right now, but the V4F donation to help us with our monthly costs, keep our website going, my StreamYard account, that kind of thing. We really appreciate whatever it is that you're able to give. And that brings us all the way back around to Dennis Prager, who reminds us that more harm was done in the 20th century by faceless bureaucrats than tyrant dictators. And I think that is absolutely the case with us as well. It's a lot of these, kind of career bureaucrats, and even these police chief types, like somebody was just saying that Christine was letting us know that he's the Deputy Chief Administrative Services and sits on the OPS board. So, I think he got a cushy desk job there, this kind of thing. And it is that kind of deep state, I guess, that I think is really sort of the main source of the tyranny here. And it's just that Justin Trudeau doesn't rein them in. Like he says, we're taking our instructions from the professional public service. And that is the opposite of what you're supposed to do there, buddy. You're supposed to be our representative, telling them they need to ease up because they're making life too hard for us. But that's not what he does. He just makes it easier for them to tyrannize us. We'll throw out a few comments here. And Cynthia is saying, thanks, Jeff. Hearts, as always. Thanks, Neil. Always a pleasure, and giving us the victory We appreciate you, Cindy, for always tuning in. Evelyn is saying take care. Joanne P. over on Rumble is saying thank you for everything, Jeff and Neil. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. And Neil, it's always a pleasure, brother. And I really look forward to the next time that I can participate in a Rolling Thunder, whenever that may be. But if we don't get there, maybe I'll see you when I go back for court there in the end of August. So I'll put the APB out, and it might be nice to maybe get together at the monument or something with a few people. I'm allowed now.
Yeah, if you can make it into Ontario, come down to Peterborough. I got a place.
Sounds good to me, brother. We'll be talking to you soon.
All right, everybody else, I love you all. Take care, and remember, God does love every single one of you, and He has a plan for you. All you have to do is reach out and take it and use it. Amen. All right. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Thanks, Neil. Thank you, brother. And to everybody who stayed with us here, stay frosty and stay safe out there.
Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? It's all I ever have. Redemption songs.